Hi guys, it's your girl Mai, and today I'm going to be talking about a story time. My story time is going to be on how my ex messed up my trust. So basically, um, we started. It was my freshman year at high school, and it was his senior year at high school, or whatever. Yeah, it was his senior year at high school, and you know how your freshman year get, it's just like you trying to get to know your classes, you trying to know like your schedule, all that. So basically, I was just going by my day, going to my classes and stuff like that. I kind of already knew the school because my sister went there, so I kind of knew like how to get around the school, but I just didn't know my classes. So I was just making it to my classes, getting help from like security guards, principals, all that stuff. So that was that. I went to all my classes, and then the end of the day came. So I used to go to my aunt's house and go to like I used to catch the bus from her house. So every morning I would go to her house, and I would catch the bus from her house, and then in the afternoon I would do the same thing. But in the afternoon I would get picked up, and my mom would come pick me up, and then I just start my day. I go back to my house, and then I do the same thing again the next day. So I knew like my bus and all this stuff. So apparently he was on the bus with me too. I didn't know. So we was on the bus together, whatever. And I'm gonna give him a name. I'm gonna name him Michael. So Michael was like looking at me or whatever. He started looking at me when I first got on the bus, but he never actually came up to me. So eventually he just kept looking at me or whatever, and then like he eventually came up to me and he had sat next to me, and like he kept like messing with me. He kept flirting with me. He kept touching me or whatever. And I just be like, hello. He was like, hi, what's your name? I said, my name is Maisha. He was like, his name is Michael. I was like, okay. So is this your first year? I was like, yeah. He was like, okay. I said, what about you? He was like, it's his last year. I was like, okay, that's cool. So we started talking. We started like get to know each other, like laughing and joking. And then he was like, what's your? I think he was like, what's my number? Oh, actually, it was like, what's my number? I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think he said, what's my number? So I gave him my number, and like, we was texting or whatever. We was talking all that stuff. So then I had realized that he literally lives close to where my aunt stays. So I was like, okay. And he had noticed. He was like, well, I'm literally like right across the street. I was like, oh, okay. So like, we would just get off the bus. He would get off at his stop. I'll get off at my stop. We would just do that constantly, just every day, whatever. And then he was like, one day he was like, okay, I'm gonna get off at your stop. I was like, okay, that's fine. So he got off at my stop or whatever, and he was with me when I was going to like walk into my aunt house or whatever. So I had went in my aunt house, had put my stuff down, and I had came back outside. So I had came back outside. He was still standing right there, and we was like like having a conversation, talking, doing all this like having conversation, just laughing and joking, whatever. Woo 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 woo. So we did that for like I think for like I think it was like 3 4 weeks or maybe like 2 months. I don't exactly remember, but it was like a constant repeat, and we kept doing it over and over again. So we would just do that. It was like our routine every day. So one day he came, but he didn't come by himself this day. So he had came with one of his friends or whatever. I knew his friend too because he rode the same bus with me. So I knew his friend or whatever, and they had came, and we was all just like sitting on the steps talking or whatever. And he was like, it's funny how you don't get a shorty that don't pay you no attention. I was like, so I'm your shorty now. He was like, yeah. He was like, if you want to be. I was like, okay, that's cool. But mind you, this was my freshman year of high school, and he's a senior. I was like 15 or 16. He was, I think, like 18 or whatever, but I don't exactly remember. I think I was 16. Yeah, I was 16. He was 18. So it really wasn't a big deal or whatever, but to my eyes, I felt like it wasn't a big deal, but my mom thought it was a big deal because he's 18 and I'm 16, whatever. So we started dating and whatever. It was all like in the beginning, it was cool. We really wasn't like, it wasn't nothing bad or nothing. But then like I started realizing like he started like saying little slick stuff. Like he was trying to be funny. He was like, because if I would get mad, and he was like, what if I go like if I go mess with one of your friends? I was like, don't do that. I was like, because if you do that, then that's gonna be a problem. He was like, oh, I'm not going to. Then he would just automatically, like, he would just walk off, be like, I'm going to go mess with one of your friends. I was like, okay, go ahead and do that. So then he act like he'd walk off, and I would get mad. And then he would walk off, and then he'll walk off for like a little bit, then he'll come back. He was like, babe, I'm playing, I'm playing. I said, no, don't do that because that's not right. Like, you're sitting here trying to play with my feelings or whatever. He was like, I'm just trying to make a joke. I was like, that's not a joke. That's nothing to joke about. So he kept doing it over and over again. And I was just like, yeah, no, this is starting to get really annoying. And I was getting irritated more and more. And then, like, another thing is he started becoming, like, really, really controlling or whatever. I was just like, you're doing too much. Like, he was being controlling. Like, I really couldn't do what I wanted to do. I had to be around him all the time. I was like, okay. Like, and we would be arguing about, like, almost every day almost. And he would just sit there and be arguing with me and stuff like that. I'm just like, well, it's like no point of us arguing. We just kept arguing every day. So I kept going to school, and I was just being in a whole messed up mood the whole day. And my friends like, yeah, they was like, you're not okay. I was just like, it's too much going on. Like we kept arguing all the time. We kept fighting. We kept doing this. He kept like playing mind games or whatever. He kept trying to do this. He kept trying to be controlling. And I was just like, yeah, I don't have time for it. But it was like, mind you, I didn't want to leave him because I really did like him. So I was putting up with it for a good amount of time. And I kept putting up with it over and over again. And then it was it was starting to get really, really bad. And I had started to lose myself in the relationship because I was always arguing with him. I was always in a bad mood. I was always not really like being my normal self. So I was like, I gotta do something. And I kept contemplating if I wanted to end the relationship or did I want to stay in it. But like I was thinking, like as much time that we've been in a relationship and how much that he has done, I was just like, it's best for me to end it and stuff like that. So I tried to end it or whatever, but he wouldn't let me end it. He was like, "No, you're not ending this." I was like, "Well, I'm not about to keep constantly doing this with you, so our relationship is over." He was like, "Okay." He was kind of mad. I was like, "But I really didn't care because it was a constant thing with him. Like we kept arguing, we kept fighting, we kept doing all this." And I was like, I was kind of getting tired of it because, and plus, it was messing with me in school. Like my schoolwork, I really wasn't focused because I was too busy arguing with him. Like we constantly used to argue, we constantly used to do this, do that, and I used to get really irritated with it, and I could not function in school. So I was like, I got to do something. So I ended it or whatever, and like we ended it, and we had like stopped talking. We wasn't making contact. We wasn't doing none of that. So I was doing me, he was doing him. So in the process of me doing me or whatever, I met somebody else. I had met somebody else, and me and him started talking, whatever. We started talking, and I guess we started dating, whatever. But and that relationship wasn't a really good relationship either. But on that topic, I'm gonna have another video on that one, how I got that relationship with that person. But I'm gonna have another video for that. But in the process of me dating this other guy, he was starting to like it was the same. It was kind of like the same thing with the other one, but it wasn't as bad. So I was just like, okay, we had broke it off or whatever. We had stopped talking and all that, and then I had started back talking to Michael, cause he was like he wanted to try it again. He wanted to I wanted to try again because I really did like him, and I really wanted to fix it, but I didn't want to like go back to I didn't want to have the same problems that we had the first time we started going back out. So I was like I wanted to fix it or whatever, and we both wanted to fix it. So we tried it again, and like we tried it like more than once. I think we tried it multiple times. I think we tried it like twice, I believe, but I don't truly remember. But we tried that, and we tried it out, and it was still like the same thing because he was still doing the same thing, but this time it was like it was a little bit more stronger. Like it was a little bit more worse because like he had started telling me how he was feeling, how he was like, what was going on in his life, what he went through, all this and stuff like that. So it was like me and him had similarities and stuff like that. So I was like, I was trying to like um make sure that he fixed our relationship and then fix him at the same time. Like I was trying to fix him, and I was like, that's something I don't need to be doing. I don't need to be fixing a grown man. Like he was 18, I was 16. I'm still here trying to fix him, and I'm forgetting all about myself. So I was telling him, I was like, you can't be doing this, you can't be doing that. We was arguing about stuff like that, and it was just like he wouldn't like. He was very controlling. Like he played a lot of mind games the whole time me and him was together. But my stupid self did not want to like end it because I really did truly care for him and stuff like that. Like I really did like him because I felt like I saw something in him that I can see me and him having a future because I wanted us to last for a long time because I can see in him that he really was a good man and whatever and like a good person, but he just had a lot of stuff he was going through. So I was trying to stay with him and try to make sure he was good. And then I'm trying to make sure I'm good. I'm trying to balance like my stuff, what I got going through, and then trying to balance what he got going through. And it was like it was really really bad. Like it was stressful. It was a hot mess. I was just not like I had completely lost myself in that relationship and stuff like that. So basically, like he really had like some type of like hold on me. Like he was very controlling, and I didn't want to let him go because I really did care for him. But at the same time, every time when I was trying to leave him, I he would say something like, "You're not leaving me." So I couldn't really like. I was basically kind of stuck, but I could get out. But at the same time, I didn't want to get out. So that's why I said when he's like he messed up my trust or whatever because he kept saying like, "Oh, if I go mess with one of your friends, what if I do this? What if I do this? Woo woo." And I was like, okay, like if you do that, then that's gonna cause a problem. So that was how our relationship was. And then after a while, like I was like, okay, yeah, we just need to like just not deal with it no more. So we stopped dealing with each other. I mean, we still was kind of we was cordial or whatever, but we really wasn't like we used to be. We was cordial, like we would say hey to each other, stuff like that. We really was like having conversations, whatever. And then like I think like a few weeks before he was about to graduate, we had started like talking, but it was like we was kind of getting back to being friends. Like we was being friends again. So me and him was talking, we was having conversations, whatever, and we was just being friends or whatever. So that went on for like 2 3 weeks before he graduated, or whatever. So then once he graduated, he left. I spent the rest of my years at the school I was at because I was a freshman at the time, and the next year was gonna be my sophomore year. So me and him, he graduated, and then he did what he had to do. Like, and then in the process of me in my like summer of my sophomore year, I was I was still at my aunt house or whatever. I used to go to my aunt house like all the time because I really like going over there. So I spent my summer at my aunt house or whatever. So me and her just like me and my cousin and my family and my aunt just had like our times or whatever. This was during the summer of my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year. So we did that, and then like we just started having fun. We was chilling, just laughing, joking, and whatever. And then like summer ended, and then I started my sophomore year. So I started my sophomore year, and so with that I was like, okay, I already kind of know like what I need to do because it was I already was here a 1 year already. So I already knew like my classes. I knew what I needed to do. I knew how to get around, all that stuff. So I went through my sophomore year, and then like um he had texted me, and he was like I think he was like, what are you doing? I don't remember. I think he texted me like my I don't remember exactly when did he text me, but I know it was like my either sophomore year or my junior year. It was one of them, but I'm not really sure. I think it was like my junior year, but I don't really remember. But he had texted me whatever, and he was like, "What you been up to?" I was like, "Nothing, just worrying about school, doing all that." He was like, "Okay, that's good or whatever." He was like, "So what are you doing out like after school?" I was like, "Nothing really." Cause I was doing like that time I used to stay after because I had to do like work or whatever. I had to do like finish like some work, so I had stayed after one day, and he was like, "You, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing. I'm at school." And I had to. We was texting in my personal finance class. It was my personal finance class, so it was my. It was actually it was my junior year. Yeah, it was my junior year of high school. It was my junior year. So we got back in contact my junior year. So he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing. I have to stay after today because I have to like finish up some work." He was like, "Okay." Mind you, he lived close to the school too, so if he wanted to walk, he could walk, or he could skateboard, or whatever. So he can skateboard to the school. So I was like, I was being like funny. I was like, "So what are you doing?" He was like, "Nothing." So I said, "So you should come up to my school, and you should come see me." Like I was trying to be funny, but I didn't really think that he was really gonna do it. He was like, what time are you gonna be in your?" I was like, "I'm probably gonna be done like 3 something, something like that." He was like, "Okay." So he was like, "I'm gonna let you know when I'm at the school." I was like, "Okay." So the whole time me and him was texting, going back and forth, and we was like just conversing. He was asking me how I've been, what I've been up to, all this stuff, how was my grades, how was school going, all that stuff. Like we was just making conversation. So it had it was like the end of the day, because I had personal finance. That's my last period. So I had got out of that, and mind you, my aunt already knew that I was staying after. Like she already knew that I was staying after. So that was on that. And I think a couple of my cousin friends, she had stayed after too. So I really wasn't on the bus by myself. So I stayed after. I finished up some work. I finished up at like 3 something or whatever. And he was like, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "No, I just finished up some work." He was like, "Okay, well, I'm almost at the school." I was like, "Okay." So he like walked up to the school, and he was like, well, he was walking, and he was like, "I'm outside." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I'm gonna come out and meet you." So I walked outside the school, and I saw him walking up. So I had saw him walking up or whatever, and we was like making conversation. But at this time, we was kind of considered as like best friends or whatever. Like we was best friends, sort of kind of, if you can say. But he was like my best friend. So we called each other like best friends or whatever. So he came up to, he was like, "What best friend was you been?" I said, "Nothing, chilling, just doing me, whatever." I was like, "I didn't really think you was gonna come up here." He was like, "Well, I said I was coming." I was like, "I thought you was playing." He was like, "No." So he did that. We came into the school or whatever, and we was talking. Like we had went by the auditorium hall, and we had, because like on the auditorium hall, it's like seats that you can sit down on and wait for like the after school buses. So we did that, and we was like having conversations or whatever. He was talking about what he been up to, how he been doing or whatever, stuff like that. He was like, you missed my birthday." I was like, "Yeah, I know," because I was like, we weren't talking at the time. But mind you, doing like all this, me and him constantly kept like we kept constantly talking back and forth. But at the same time, when me and him was talking back and forth, it was during my sophomore year, so I still had some type of like, I still was mad at him, because I really like, I basically had hatred for him because of what he put me through, and it was like it was repeatedly. So I basically had hatred for him. So like when we was talking, we would just be arguing. So we was just argue like all the time. Like we just argue all the time. So I was like, okay. I was like, yeah. So I had stopped talking to him. I had like completely just stopped talking to him, and he had stopped talking to me. And then that's when we was like, we started back talking again during my junior year. But we was trying to just be friends and not be arguing, if you know what I mean. Like we was trying to be friends but not have no type of like no arguments, no conflict, or none of that. So we was trying to do that, and I think he apologized for what he put me through. I think he did. I truly don't remember, but I think he did apologize. He was like, "I'm sorry for what I did to you. I know that it wasn't right. I know this, I know that." I was like, "Yeah, because you really put me through a lot. Like I went through a lot. Like when I tell you guys, if you was to see me and how it was when me and him was together, like I was not, like I wasn't smiling, I wasn't doing none of that. Like I was always mad." And like every time me and him would walk into, because we always used to walk into school together, like because we rode the same bus, so we walked in together. And everybody, like all my friends, like can kind of see that we had just had an argument, but like I was mad, so they was like, "Oh shoot, they must have had they look like they had an argument or whatever." Like a couple of my friends like, "Did y'all argue this one?" I was like, "Yeah, we did." She was like, "Yeah, because I can kind of tell in your face." I was like, "Yeah, we had an argument on the bus before we got here, whatever." So we did that, and then we was talking. He was trying to just get to know me, like be kind of refix what we like what had messed up, what he had messed up or whatever. So we did that, and we still like we was talking, we was just laughing and joking, kiki and whatever and stuff like that. I did that. Like he came to see me, I think like twice during my junior year. He came up to the school twice, and then like he had moved. I guess he had moved, and so I really didn't like. I didn't really see him like that. I mean, we still talked us or whatever. We made like contact or whatever, and I finished my junior year, and then in the summer of my senior year, I went to my aunt's house again. Like I said, I keep going over there. So I went to her house again. I was chilling with her, doing just having fun or whatever, and we was doing that, just having like enjoying our summer because it was like my last year of high school, so I wanted to have fun. So I was at her house the whole summer. So then the summer was over. I started my senior year of high school, and then like I was doing that. I was doing my classes, whatever. He like we still made contact, but it was like we kind of like we was cool now. Like we really was. It really wasn't a problem. Nothing. Like we was actually like we was friends, and it wasn't a type of conflict. So we was like laughing. We was having conversations, whatever, just talking and just laughing and joking and stuff like that. Like normal friends do that. Just really like trying to fix stuff. So we had did that. We was doing that, and he was talking to me and all that stuff, and then we was just doing that. Like we constantly kept talking on and off, like a couple times. Like he would text me sometimes, and I would text him, and then sometimes I like we would stop texting, and then we'd go right back to texting. So it was kind of like that. But it really wasn't like we wasn't having an argument. We just kind of like stopped talking for a minute. But we did that my majority of my senior year. Um, I was chilling, just having like enjoying my senior year, and I had a couple of relationships during my senior year. I had a couple of them, but they really wasn't relationships that I wanted to like. That I really didn't last like that. Like I really didn't have relationship that I could say that was a relationship that I could be in. It wasn't a problem. Like I mean, I had relationships, but they wasn't like longevity relationships. They was maybe like a week or two. Like it wasn't. It really wasn't a true relationship, if you know what I mean. Like it wasn't a true relationship. So I was like, okay, I did that, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna just do me for a little bit. So I wasn't really dating nobody. Like I was basically was single. Like I was talking to people, but I really wasn't dating nobody. So I was doing that for a while, and then I graduated, and I graduated June 9th I just graduated. Literally, I just graduated in June. So I did that. I had my graduation, and like he texted me. He was like, "Congratulations." I was like, "Thank you." He was like, "So what are you gonna do after?" I was like, "I truly don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do after I graduate. I still don't know what I want to do right now, but right now I'm trying to like figure it out." So I was like, "I truly don't want to know what I want to do." He was like, "Do you want to go to college?" I was like, "No, I don't." I was like, "I want to do a trade or something." He was like, "Okay, I can understand that." So he was talking to me. We was talking for a little bit, and he was asking me how I've been and stuff like that. Are you happy that you out of school? I was like, "Yeah, I am." So then we was talking for a little bit, and then we like had stopped talking. And then he had text. I think I had texted him like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I had texted him like 2 weeks ago. I was trying to be, I was like, "Hey, stranger," trying to be funny or whatever. He was like, "What's up?" And he was like, we was talking, having a conversation and stuff like that. Um, and just how it went. But what I basically learned from that relationship was that like don't date nobody older than what you are, because their mindset is totally different than your mindset. Because his mindset was of an 18-year-old. Like he was grown, so his mindset was totally different. And he was like, okay, yeah, she's 8, she's 16, I'm 18, I can say whatever I want, and I'm gonna do whatever I want because she's not gonna leave. Basically, that's how it was. So what I took from a relationship was that don't like date nobody older than what your age is, or don't deal with nobody that's very controlling, stuff like that, and like figure out the red flags or whatever. I really didn't. They really wasn't no red flags in the beginning, but as the relationship went on, it was a lot of them. I just didn't. I just didn't say anything. I just dealt with him because I really did like him. Like I seen a lot of them. I just being a dummy as I was, and being stupid. I did not want to like break it off. But to this day, I still can say that's why I say I really don't trust nobody. I don't trust no guy because I don't want to be like I don't want to be how I was when I was 16. I'm 19 now, but I still don't trust anybody. I don't trust guys. So because I don't know what type of like where their head is at or whatever. Because I just don't want to go back to that relationship and what I went through. So I just I don't trust nobody. So that's what I took from that relationship, that don't date nobody older than what you is, or don't date nobody that's very controlling, because that's just gonna be like a relationship that you're gonna have to deal with, but you want to leave, but then you don't want to leave. So that's how that was, or whatever. So that's my story time, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, share this video, and leave your comments below. I'm gonna have another video coming up. Like, I think I'm doing 2 videos today. I'm not sure. I think I'm doing 2. So I got another video coming up later on today, or whatever. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and leave your comments below, and stay tuned for my next video. Bye.